I will try to make it a practical session, the second part. But I will, I know there is a large number of people in this room, and they are from different specialization. So there are people from the human science, there is a from the, so my specialization is in computer science and in the science. So some people sometimes ask, okay, how you are doing it, how you actually putting what Dr. Dia was talking about. I will talk about the practical stuff in a second, so bear with me. But I will just, sometimes I like someone giving me from a clean sheet what they are doing to write a paper, right? So what I'm doing to write myself, so I'm just giving my experience. I will start by one, I'm reading the literature quickly, right? I will read the literature, reading a few papers, trying to find an idea, right? Then hopefully I have an idea that, again, I'm talking about a science field. Maybe human science people, they are a bit different, but I'm talking here about engineering, computer science, all of that. And I think even the other part is similar to us. You read the literature and that's your starting point. You have an idea and where to go next. Myself, I will try the idea, start experiment, got better results than the literature. That is where I feel good to move forward toward thinking about a publication. Before number 3, I will not think about a publication. Maybe I have an idea and it's a crazy idea, or the experiments are bad, or etc., etc. And like what Dr. Dia was saying, this is research, will stay with you for the rest of your life. So you need to be honest here and try the experiments and see if you are successful. Assuming that you have a happy life, at some point you are successful and your results is better than the literature. 4, now I'm gonna think about writing, but still a bit, because maybe my experiments are just initial experiments, I'm just comparing, but I need more evaluation techniques. Sometimes I have ideas about evaluation, sometimes not. So where I find more evaluation ideas, I will go to the literature again, especially around that topic where I'm trying to experiment. I will pick a few papers from the literature and see their way of evaluation. I will borrow some of those ideas. I will just repeat them, right? Now, assuming that you evaluated from different angles, and again, evaluation here doesn't mean you are winning in every single angle. Sometimes you are winning, sometimes not, right? But you have to be honest, and hopefully you will have winning in some of the matrices. Now, it's a start writing. And my experience in writing is never wait until the end. Don't never think that everything will come together and you start writing from the abstract until the conclusion. That's not the reality. The reality is you have some results, you have some evaluation, but sometimes you need to add something more, but you are confident that it's okay not to start, right? The question that lots of my students before asking, okay, where to start? Should I start from the introduction? Should I start from the related work, etc.? Myself, I will, again, don't expect lots of points here. I will give 4 points only, just giving you a heads up. I will find the target venue, because the venue where you're gonna publish, it will dictate the way of your writing. If you are writing to a conference, it's different than writing to a journal. Some of the conferences are different, etc., etc. So you, at least you decide which conference you are targeting, right? Then you go, and I could see someone asked in the questions early when Dr. Dia asking is, is there a template? And probably here I'm answering, it's yes, most of the conferences and journals, they have a template. The template might be in a Word document template. Sometimes it will be a Latex. Most of the venues that I come across, the known ones, they have a template. Then you decided what that venue is, you go and pick the template, right? And hopefully it will be a Latex, which we're gonna talk about in a second, right? Now, 3, you start from, my experience is the best place to start is from the model, the methodology, the results section. That's what you know actually, because you already have done a little bit of experiments here. You have done experiments, you know the model, so you start explaining the model, result section, and then after that, if there is a little bit required knowledge, you go to background section, you start to write that, and then the paper will be developed from there. Then you add more evaluation, and then you come back to the introduction and put it together. So I will stop here in the theoretical side, because I'm trying to link the Dr. Dia side with my practical side, which is, okay, you start writing, and now you're assuming you are not writing alone. Yes, there is one person leading the writing, which is you as a main researcher. But assume that you have a supervisors, and maybe sometimes you used one of your colleagues to do some experiments, and you want them to give you feedback as well on the writing. This is where we need a place, a single version to write together. And that will be the entry to our topic today, which is writing together, right? So I will bring my slides now. And I promise it will not be mono lecture. Writing a publication, and I will go to Overleaf. I will explain quickly what is Overleaf. Hopefully you are familiar with Latex editor. It's something like a Word, but you use commands. So I will give you a sneak peek. This is what you're gonna learn today. 10 things I will promise. I will go and do them one by one. We will create an account, we will create a new project, we will pick a template, we will show you how to add references, figures, equations, how to share with others, how 2 people review the same thing, how you can chat within the same environment, history control, and manage more than one project. This is what you're gonna learn, and I will go through them one by one. But I always love when someone telling me in advance what I'm gonna learn. And probably at the end will be a good practice, all the participants to say, like, out of 10, how many you learn from here. This is important. And you don't need to rush. I will go to the practical. I will jump between the slides and the practical. No need to rush. I think Dr. Montasser and Dr. Dia and the guys in the University of Qadisi are recording the session, and I'm happy to share the slides. Again, there is nothing a lot in the slides, but I'm happy to share the slides in the chat room at the end. And Dr. Montasser and Dr. Dia will hopefully share the recording as well, so you could come back and see the recording. So you don't need to rush.
Yes, will be published. Will be published.
Thank you. Yeah. So let's go and do it. So before going to Overleaf, someone will ask, what is Latex? And sometimes it's difficult when you don't know your audience. Frankly speaking, I don't know the audience, and maybe some of you know Latex, maybe some of you not. But I will assume that you don't know a lot about Latex. So Latex is basically, think about it like it's a Word document, right? It's a way to write scientific documents. It's not a programming language. It is markup language, means you have just a light commands, like a section, you just define a section, you define a subsection. If you have some packages, I will talk about them later, but basically you have a section, here the first paragraph, second paragraph, and then you compile this, and you will get your PDF on the right side. There are softwares that can help you to write a LaTeX. Someone will ask, okay, the question, okay, why I don't use a Word document? Why LaTeX and this headache? I'm happy with the Word document. I would say Word document to write something small, it's very efficient. But if you are writing a paper, there are, from my experience, for example, I will just give simple examples. You already have 20 references and you're already citing them within the Word document. But suddenly your supervisor say, you know what, add those 3 references in the introduction and add those 2 references in the related work. So how are you gonna do it in the Word document? You're gonna go and add those references, but then your list of references at the end has been screwed up, mixed. So you need to take care of that. You need to take care of the figures order as well. If you need to add the figure before, then you need to change the numbers. Citations as well, the equations as well. Now with LaTeX, this is all taken care of automatically. You don't need to do anything related to that. Section, there is a command for section. Equation, there is a command for equation. Citation, I will show you. And then for numbering, there is no numbering. You don't, like here, the number 1, number 1.1, it is the system numbering for you. So here you have a section, you have a subsection. If you come here and add another subsection, you don't need to change the number. The number will auto-generate it. Again, I know this session is not about LaTeX, but to go to Overleaf, you need to understand a little bit the LaTeX. Now, what is Overleaf? It's the whole session today. Overleaf, basically, those guys, it is an online company that brought LaTeX online. So LaTeX, you could write LaTeX offline on your desktop like any other software. Like here, I have a LaTeX here. If you see my screen, I have a LaTeX here. But those guys, one of the difficulties having a LaTeX in your desktop, sometimes you need packages for design a few things. But once those guys came to business, you don't need to install anything. So what is the advantages of Overleaf? Again, it's a collaborative LaTeX editor. Means you have a single version online that you could share it with few people, and all of you edit in the same place. You don't need to, it's an online, browser-based. You don't need to install anything in your computer. You could work on it through the browser. No complicated LaTeX installation. It's all the packages are at the back-end server, right? You could work together on a single version. It has a document history, and it is fantastic feature. Document history, assume that I'm working with Dr. Dia on something. I edited something today, and Dr. Dia a week from now came in and edited something, but then we lost, he removed something, and then we decided to go back to the previous version. Overleaf will have that control as well, and it has large template library. So I think it's, as I said, we're gonna learn 10 things. I think it's enough of theoretical talk, and we will jump to number 1. So create an account with Overleaf. With Overleaf, I will show you now how we create an account, what is the website, but basically they have packages. I will show you here. That is Overleaf. It's overleaf.com.login, right? I will dump this into the chat later, probably, because I'm sharing now, I cannot see the chat. So Overleaf, it's overleaf.com. That's the Overleaf. If you go to the planning and pricing, again, disclaimer here, I'm not from the Overleaf company. Maybe someone thinking I'm promoting this as my business or something. And they have a free package as well to help you. We are just using it at CSIRO, the largest research organization in Australia. So if you see the packages, you have a free package. That's a good thing. You could start When they say for personal, you could share it actually. I will show you how to share it. But if you want more features, there is a collaborator. Collaborator, it's $18 a month. The good thing about collaborator, if one of you have it, you just create the template and you could share it with 10 people. So even those 10 people, if someone has a project, you could actually take lead and create that project and you work together. So $18 is not per person here. It is total, right? I have this package, and also they have a student price as well. Very good price if for a year, $100 for a year. But let's assume now we are working on the free package. When I talk later, I will show you which features they are not in the free package. Okay, so create an account. You register like you register in anything, like email, password, register. They will send you an email, you confirm the email. You do that all the time, right? Now, I need to take this. I will just log in with the email and password. Log in with your email. This is not the account I'm using. I'm just using a dump email here. Okay. So that's the first screen. So number one, we are able now to create an account. Congratulations, you have an account. We could start creating a new project here. Slowly you will be familiar. Here it will show the list of all your projects you created one by one. Here you have an account, settings, etc. If you want to subscribe, I will show you later. Here, that's my other account where I really using that account, right? I have so many packages, but I'm just giving you the feeling that no, actually when you come first time, you have it as a clean sheet, right? So task one is done. We talk about the personal, we talk about the collaborator. The professional is you don't need it, you need the collaborator. So we are able now to create an account. Task two, you need to create a new project. And when we say new project, we're talking about a paper. The good thing about Overleaf, as I said earlier, when you decided which paper you're gonna write, you're gonna target a conference or a journal. Most of the journals in engineering, in science, etc., they will have two templates. One Word document and one Latex. They call it Latex. Now, for Overleaf, many of those top journals now, actually, they done a good thing. They give the template to Overleaf as well. So you could do it either way. Either you take the template from Latex and upload the template to Overleaf, or you search in Overleaf about the template, and I will show you how you do it. So let's create a new project. Now, I will come here. There is a big and shiny green here sign called New Project. If you click on it, you have so many options. You have a blank project. Actually, honestly speaking, we don't start from blank sheet. Most of the cases, we go to the templates here. Either academic journal, there are so many templates about academics, books, letters, other things if you want to create here as well. But also you could upload if you have a Latex from a conference or journal. So let's say I'm picking academic journals, right? Here there is a template. If I'm going to search the templates, there is a button here, templates. Now I want to search about, for example, people use IEEE, right? Or sometimes ICM, ACM, another journal. So you search one of them, right? So let's assume you decided, okay, I need a conference version or a journal version. Let's say a conference version. Again, someone asking, okay, what if my journal is not listed here? That's also fine. As long as your journal has a Latex, you just come to the button and upload the template. But here, most of the conferences and journals in the science, they have the template. Now I just say, open the template. right? Open as a template. Congratulations, you created your first project, right? Now, when you have your first project, remember, you live with this. There are 3 sides, right? This is a directory structure. Actually, what files you have. Again, those files are not on your computer, so you don't worry about them. They are all in the cloud with Overleaf. And this is a free account. You don't need to worry about it, right? So this is the directory. You don't need all those files. I will show you. I will remove all of them, except maybe the .text and .vibe, the references, and I will talk about them. So don't worry about them. The most important thing, if you know Latex, you need something called .tex file. That's what you want. This is your TXE file. Again, don't worry. It looks like lots of things here. I will bring a clean sheet now, but I'm just showing you. And here, whatever you change here, you compile and recompile, and it will give you this nice structure, right? Recompile, you wait a little bit. It's building. It will take, it depends on the size. Okay. Yep. So building 2 columns, again, no style, no everything, etc. Let me show you a very simple version of this. So you don't worry about all these files. I will just show you a simple example I created early today for the sake of the time, right? I'll remove this. So it's almost the same, right? It's the same structure, but I just show you that which files actually you need. Sometimes some of the templates, they have so many files. You need a file called .tex. Remember this. That's your source file. It's as imagine this is your Word document here. Again, you could write the text. You need only a few commands. Don't worry about those commands. I will show you. Actually, here is most of the things that you're going to learn today, right? So you have the .tex, that's your source. You need to create .bib for references, and I will talk about that. This is, you cannot remove this. CLS, it's your style. This is created by the template. It's not, it's, so the template that we brought here have that there, right? And I created a folder. Again, here you could create a new, you could create a new file. I will show you actually, you could create here, for example, .bib, right? Give it a name or something, right? So I will show you here, that's .bib, something like I created here, right? You could remove them, delete. So let's focus on the .tex. Again, if you change something, you keep compiling. Once this version is ready and the PDF is ready, you can download it from here. You could say download and it will give you a PDF, this sample here, download, right? Here, you could zoom in, zoom out, and so on. Let me show you the PDF that I downloaded now from here. That's the PDF, right? So that's your PDF. It has 1 page, nothing much. Okay, so for the sake of the time, we will come here again and again. So this is your screen. So let's see what's next. Next is references and citation. But before references and citation, someone asked me, show me the sections actually. Now, here, I will just show you a quick feeling. This is created by the template, all right? Again, this is created by the template, but it has the conference name, the year. You could change them. Again, here, most of the conferences will give you this. You just come here and change. The information will appear here. some of the information here appear. So we don't worry. Most of the things that you're gonna do, I will close it. It's began, document, and document. This is Latex. If you know Latex, then you know this. If you don't know Latex, you could spend a couple of days, you learn Latex, right? So that's where we're gonna write actually. Most of the content here, it's between began document and document. Okay, so do I have a section? Okay, within a document now, what is the first thing? The first thing is the title, right? The title. Here is the title. The title that you see at the top, it's a command / title, and you give your title. Here is again the structure. In most of the cases we copy and paste. It's about the author, your author list. If you have one, then it's one author. But if you have more than one, then you just another author where they work, etc. Here it's anonymous authors, but I could change it actually. Right? I just remove the keyword anonymous and here and recompile. The authors will show up here. Again, I did not touch anything. I just removed one word, anonymous, right? Here is your authors list will appear at the top. So here's the authors. I will talk later about those commands. Here is your abstract. Your abstract here, I'm saying, okay, here is your abstract, right? Let me show you. This is abstract, right? I'm writing here something. Recompile. This is abstract, right? If I have 2, 3 people I'm sharing with, they will all share the same version. This is the version they share. Here is the keywords. Again, keywords appear here, right? This is first section. So we have a first section called introduction. You could create as many sections as you want. Just come anywhere. We have another section, methodology. I can come here and I create a / section. What the section is, for example, evaluation, right? I just created another section. It will appear here after section. So you could see I did not number the sections. They take the number by themselves. Assume that number 2 methodology, number 3 evaluation. Let's flip them here. Cut, Control X, I'm cutting, Control X, and pasted that before the methodology. This is the beauty of Latex and Overleaf. I don't need to change the number. So look what happens here. They will flip the number by themselves. So that's the system doing that. All right. So evaluation become number 2, methodology become number 3. Good practice is any section or subsection, give it a label, right? Give it a label, / label something. Why? Because that will help you to cross-reference the sections. So for example, evaluation, let me say label the evaluation section. It's autocorrection, right? Label, what are you gonna, it's a section. This is just a practice. It's section and it is evaluation, right? Now, assume that I just built. This is your label whenever you want to cite this section somewhere. So assume that you are writing here in the introduction and you want to say, as it appears in section. So what section you are talking about? Evaluation, right? / reference, right? I'm referencing a section now. Okay, section. You see, any section that has a label, here, it will show up here. I just pick it, right? Blah, blah. Now, if you recompile, sorry, let me remove this. If you recompile here, again, you don't give a number or something, they will get the number by themselves. Where is the section I created? As appear in section 2. You see? Section 2 here. Now, if I flip those, it will automatically change. And I can show it to you if you don't believe me. So hopefully I'm not confusing you. We didn't do much. We have an abstract, we create sections, we give section labels. and here is basically you are filling the text, right? Now, I think the task was references and citations. So references and citations, basically first there are 3 steps. Let me show you the steps here. 1, you need to create .bib bibliography file, the one I was showing you here, right? You just created once, right? Then you need to go to your Google Scholar and copy something called bibtext. I will show you. If you are using something like Mendeley, or you are using something like any other softwares, they give you a version of bibtext as well. But let's assume that you just use Google Scholar, right? Then you take it from Google Scholar and paste it here in the bib, and then it will be available. It will be available here, and I will show you how you do it. So, okay, let's follow those steps. So assume that we created .bib file here, right? Step 2, we need to go to Google Scholar. So let's go to Google Scholar. Google Scholar, right? Google Scholar, move this. I'm trying just to show you once, and then after that, this is Google Scholar. Let's search about something, Trojan paper or something, right? I just searched Google Scholar. Now, if you see here in the citations, there is import to bibtext. Do you see that? Okay. Now, if you don't find it here, you just go here in the side part, and it will also show up here, right? So it's the same. I'm not saying it's the same. So if you don't have it outside, you have it inside here. So let's say I'm importing. It will give you a bit script here. Just highlight it, copy it, Control C. So let me read it first before I copy it. It give a label here, a label for the publication, the title of the publication, the authors, the year, and everything. Okay, let me copy it, Control C, and I go here to the references. I was copying 2 before. So let's go here and copy it. Remember the name of the guy, Leo, blah, blah, blah. That's your label when you cite within the text. So to cite this paper, you go to the .tex, right? So I'm in the introduction. I will say this model in. Okay, now I need to cite. I will say slash cite. Open. You remember the name of the guy? Leo, the label. Leo, blah, blah, blah. This is the label. If you are not sure from the label. So basically here, what it gives me, all the labels I have here. Where is the labels? Those are the labels, right? Which we copied, right? Someone will say, oh, sometimes, okay, now what if I don't remember the label? I would say, just maybe type a little bit. If you are not sure, there is an option here called press Control space. So see, if I press Control space, what happens? It will give you a banner at the top. You could search even better here, right? Leo, blah, blah, blah. You remember the paper? It was, again, where this information is, it's all from your bib, right? So is this your paper, Trojaning attack? Yes, just pick it. It will come here. If you want to cite another paper, just column and cite one of the other papers. So what other papers we have here? Let's say we have Chandra. This is the label, right? Chandra's someone. Okay, so column, and I would say Chandra, etc. Right? If I build it, see the introduction. What is the introduction? So it will show up here, this model. Yep, this model in 1 and 2, right? So what are the steps? The steps are, we created .bib, we brought from Google Scholar. I think I missed the important step is how you link .bib to this source. You need to link it at the bottom here. Could you see those two lines? You're gonna repeat them all the time. You just to specify the bibliography style. Someone asked me, okay, what is this command? There are so many styles. This is unsorted, so as they appear, there is all the bibliography style that you know. It's just the keywords. You just search with the bibliography style, you will find them. And here is the bibliography file. What is the file name? References, that's the references, right? So 2 lines, you add them close to the end of the document, right? And that's it. You have the references. Creating a bib, go to the Google Scholar, put your references in the bib, link your file here, and then they are available to you anywhere in the manuscript, just using the word cite. Okay, let's jump to the next. So we have done the references and citation. What is for? Figures. Probably I'm giving just 10 seconds, 15 seconds, sometimes pause between things. So I'm not the person who's drawing on the, so is someone drawing something? Or the screen or, okay. I think the screen is not clean.
Or somebody drawing maybe.
So how we, probably there is an option here, something, annotate, okay, probably erase, okay, yep, okay, so I don't need to annotate now, okay. So figures, the step 4 is figures. For figures, what are the steps? So let's see the steps here. Of course, you need to draw the figure somewhere, right? Whatever the software that you are using. I'm just listing few things here, Dia, PowerPoint, whatever your mechanism of generating figures. There are so many softwares. Then you export your figure. If you are writing a scientific manuscript, avoid, I'm repeating, avoid using PNG, JPEG, and those types. The reason is they're not good when you make the picture big in the PDF. So what types you want? Maybe generated as a PDF, or there is EPS, something high quality. The reason for that is if you make it like, let me show you here. This figure I have, yeah, it is high quality because I think it is PDF, is it? It's a JPEG, but because it's high quality, it's 1,000 something. So my experience is use PDF or EPS if your quality dropped, okay? So you created the figure, you exported the figure, you just upload the figure to Overleaf, and then you cite the figure. So let's see here, just for the sake of the time, I early created a folder called figure, just created a folder, new, you give it a name, right, whatever. And you create, if you say figures, right, create, it will be figures folder. Inside that, I have how to upload to them. You just click here, click on the folder figure, just go upload file, right? Upload file, it will give you all the options from your computer, etc. You could upload, right? Whatever the file, where is you are saving the file, let's say on the desktop or pictures or so on, right? So you just pick it and upload, open, and it will come here. So, okay, let's probably, for the sake of the time, I have 2 already. I have banner.pdf, I have sample.jpg, 2 figures, okay? Now, we created the figure, we uploaded the figure. How to cite the figure within the text? So within the .tax, come here. If you see here, there is a skeleton for figures. It's a command, right? Those command, I will show you, just say star begin, right? Pick the begin, say figures, right? If you pick figures, it will give you the structure of the figure, right? So it's not created by me and I'm very smart, I'm remembering all those commands. I'm not, right? So what is those commands? Those commands are include graphs. What is the graph path? So centering means it will make the graph at the middle. Here is the centering, right? Include graph. I'm including the graph, right? So if you say, what we have here? We have banner and we have sample, right? Say banner, you see? I'm writing now. It will give you the auto completion. You just pick it, right? If you pick it, it gives you the auto correction. Now there is commands you give, something like a scale. Sometimes the figure is very big. We give it a scale from 0 to 1. So 0.3, 0.4, etc., etc., right? Caption like that, you know, right? For any figure. And you give your figure a label. You remember when I talked about the labels for sections? Similar. You give your figure a label. Say it, whatever that figure. So those are, let me remove this. I already created that figure here. So centering, including the figure. So let's change the caption so you know that this is new figure, okay? And here it has figure, let's say new figure, something like this. So again, recompile, you will see your figure. That's the sample actually. 1, 2, 3. So that's the figure. Let me make it smaller a bit, right? So that's the figure, right? It's here, and it gave you the caption figure. So if you want to believe, let's change the sample into the banner maybe. So you believe that I'm changing things actually. Okay, banner. Okay, banner. Take it, PDF. If you rerun, it will change and bring the banner. It's another image. So just to show you that how you do it, right? If it is too big, then sometimes you give it a smaller. Sometimes actually this banner is over 2. I think someone drawing on the screen. Okay. So this is the banner now within the column. Again, similar to, if you remember how we cite the sections here, reference the section, not cite, because let's save the word cite to bibliography, and reference is when you cross-reference. If you want to reference this figure somewhere, it's similar to the sections. So let's say I'm referencing this figure within the section evaluation. I would say this is the results in figure, let's say / reference open. What is the label here of that figure? It is figure, new figure, right? That's the new figure. You just rebuild. Again, if you see here, we are just linking tags. The reason for that is you don't need to work on the numbers. It will number by itself. Here, this is figure 1 because we have only one figure, so it's 1, right? If we have more, it will automatically change. So that is figures. Let me move quickly to the next tasks. 5 equations. So hopefully I'm doing okay with the time. Equations, you have 2 types of equations. Either within a text, you put them between $start, $end, or if you have like a longer equation where you need that equation to be a separate, Control Z, then what you do is you have begin and end equation, right? And sometimes you struggle a bit with writing APIs, with writing equations. The good news, there is an online website that help you to write Latex equations, right? So I will just show you, I think I have done early, yep, here, if you see, right? The value, I put them between is dollar and less than or equal to. It's a command, actually. There are so many commands. All the mathematical symbols that you need, they have commands. And someone will say, okay, how I'm gonna remember all of those? I would say it's easy. Go and search Latex equations online editor, something like that. There are a few online editors. Personally, I'm using this one, right? So you could build your equation here. If you want this sample, for example, and you don't remember it, you see, /sum. And what do you need? Then X, right? Whatever you see here, it will give you the output, and etc. Like A on B, something like that. Pick it. Like here, A and B, I'm writing, right? And it's changing the equation. Once you are happy, copy this and bring it to your here. If you want another, just maybe put it inside the same. I'm just, again, this is not a nice equation to have, but I'm just showing you samples, right? Could you see here? That is within a text. Okay, if you don't want that within a text, you want it to be separate, I would say that's fine. You just see, come here and say /begin, right? Equations. Pick equation, right? It gave you begin, end. Just take whatever equation here. You don't need to have the sign dollar. Just put it here, right? Rebuild. The good thing is it will build an equation and it will give it a number. It will do everything for you. Okay, so where is our equation? Yep, that's our equation. Let me make it smaller. That's our equation, and it gave it number 2. We have another equation number, number 1. Another equation number 2. Where is that one? Probably I created it early somewhere. Yes, this is the one. I can remove it now. So I'm removing this one, right? Okay, where it went, it's here. So here is an equation within a text. Here is an equation within separate. And similar situation to the figures and sections. Remember to give your equation a label. If you want a reference, so what I'm doing always, I'm doing like something equation, give it a name like Gaussian or whatever the name of the equation. And similar to the reference, similar to the figures and sections, whenever you need to reference this, come somewhere and say reference, and it will show up. If you come here and say /reference equation, that's your equation constant. So you are citing that somewhere, right? Okay, so that is equations. Sometimes I'm pausing a bit, so I give people a chance to digest what I'm doing. Right, so we finished equations. Number 6, share. So if you noticed from the first few tasks, I did not talk about sharing the manuscript with other people. I was just creating a new manuscript, showing the references and figures. Maybe as a student or as a researcher, you start by your own first, just grabbing the thought. But you are feeling now, okay, I have 4 or 5 pages. I do have other researchers. They want to contribute to the same manuscript. Okay, now for sharing, there are 2 ways to share. If you are using the free account, Sharing, you could share by link. So you could send the link around. It's like the Google Drive or Google Docs or something like that, right? You share the link around. Whoever have the link, you give it access control, edit or view. But if you have the premium account, like in my case, in the other case, you could add them actually directly. I will show you the difference. Okay, let's go to the practical stuff. So how to share? How to share is you come here. If you see, we do have few buttons here at the top. There is a share, right? So remember, is this the free one? No, actually, this is the free one, free account. So if you click on the free account, could I add someone here? I don't think so. Okay. So let me show you in one place, that would be better. So click share. So as I said, if you have the free account, probably you cannot share here you could share only with one person as a collaborator if you have the free account. So if you have the free account, just turn the link on, this link, and make sure if you want the person to edit, any person, then you give them this link. If you want them only to view, be careful, give them only view. You don't give them the edit, because with the edit, they can change the stuff, right? Now, that is the free account. If you have the premium, you could actually invite them directly, right? Whatever the name of the person, you know, do I have someone? Yeah, you could just pick anyone, right? You could just pick someone and maybe more than one and share. But also don't share before you specify you want them edit or you want them read only. Once you share with this, with the premium, they will receive an invitation email. Once they accept the invitation email, they are allowed to edit with you. You could view what they are viewing. You could both edit the same. Okay, so that's basically sharing. If you give them the link, also they can come in anytime when they click on the link and see what you have. Okay, so that is sharing. So let's go to review. So when you share with more than one, the reason for sharing, and that's where the juice of our session today is collaboration. So you need people to leave comments and edit stuff, and sometimes they leave a marker somewhere, right? So with the review, if you have the premium, you could, I will talk about both, right? If you have the premium, you could click on the review here, right? There is a review button at the top. Once you click on the review, it's similar to the Word document. If you know the review with the Word document, it's exactly the same. Just click here. Here you have the name of the people you are sharing with. This manuscript, this draft, I'm sharing it with another 3 people. So just activate if you want the review to be active, right? So just activate that. Now, assume that you are coming here and you are not happy with this sentence, and you could leave a comment here. I'd say add a comment, Dia, make sure you check this. Something like that, right? Add a comment. Now, when Dia is logging in and he has the link, he can come here and find my comment and maybe say something done, or maybe he say anything else and reply to me, right? If it is resolved means done, just click on done. It will disappear, right? So this is you leave comments. But what if you are editing? Let's say these I changed, right? So these a figure, and I'm editing here, a figure, right? It just edit. Again, it is similar to your Word document. Someone will come here and say, do you want to accept? It will give you what has been changed, which time, by whom. It's by you means myself. You, it's me, right? but maybe by Nicholas, by Snapple, someone else, right? You just accept if you want the change, or reject if you don't want the change, right? Accept, accept. So that is the review if you have the premium account. Now, sometimes, assume that, not sometimes, assume that you have the free account, one. Two, sometimes you don't want to edit here. You want the edit to be left as a marker here. So let's do it. Let's do it with the free, assuming that most of the people has the free account. So the way we are doing it here, you could see I'm leaving some comments here. Sharif, Dia, how I have done this, right? With everyone having a color. So to do that, this is comments actually. To do that, I came at the top here. There is a command called the new command. I'm adding a new command. Again, you copy and paste this all the time. New command. I'm naming the command /Sharif. I'm naming the other command /Dia. I'm giving it a color. Again, all the colors available: blue, red, green, etc. If you are not sure, you check the text color list. And what you want that to be written. So assuming that you have more than one person editing and leaving comments, it's better to keep track of the people. So let's say we have, okay, let's just accept, I think the comments is on, accept. So assume we have Sharif, Dia, we have someone else, etc., etc. So let's start by Sharif and Dia. Here is the name will appear close to the comment, right? So whenever you are, do I have it here? Looks like Control F. Yeah, yes, by the way, you could search Sharif. I just pressed on Control F. You could search, right? Sharif, it is appearing somewhere. Yep, that's what I'm saying. So let me just remove it, just to show you that this is disappearing from here. Okay, so I'm coming here and I find that maybe my students or my collaborator need to add a figure. I'm just writing /Sharif. It's a command now, right? And open the command and say, please add a figure here or something. Say whatever you want, right? It will show up here in the place I left the comment as a blue, add a figure here, right? Because we have a reference citation after that, that's why, right? And so on. Actually, sometimes you highlight even a section that needs to revisit maybe. You just start in the writing, just start the command /Sharif or whatever the command you gave it here, and highlight that and say, please check this, add this, etc. To show you that I also added Dia as another command to appear, and it should be somewhere here, early today. That's /Dia, also command. You could see here Dia, he wants something, add another stuff or something. You could have as many other people, collaborators as well. All of you leave comments within the PDF. So if I'm reviewing the paper, I'm coming, I look, maybe my first supervisor is Sharif giving me comments, my second supervisor is Dia, and then we have another person reviewing with us, etc. Right? So that's the review. Next, chat. I think we are number 8, so bear with me, guys. I'm almost there. Chat, again, this is an easy task to talk about. You could actually chat between the collaborators live, but not within the text. If you go at the top, there is a chat button here. If you click on the chat, you could say something like, please read section blah and add something and etc. right? And let me know. send. You could, again, if let's say my collaborators are Dia, Montasser, and 3 other people, they, whenever someone add a chat comment here, it will appear, this is me. It's like you are chatting in WhatsApp or something, right? So there is no lots to talk here, but it's a good way, especially around submission or before that, or when you do something and you don't want to leave a marker in the paper, you just come to the chat and leave your comments here, and the person come and address this here, right? So that's the chat. Okay, we are almost there. Number 9. I promise we have one more to go. History. With history, this is a very fantastic option. As I mentioned earlier, we are working on a single version, more than one person. So there is a chance some one of us make a mistake, delete something unintentionally, or maybe add some stuff, right? And we don't want that. So how we keep track of everything? The good news for you is, let me remove the chat here. So any button. The good news for you is Overleaf keeping the history, and it's saved by itself. If you notice, I did not press any save when I'm doing it, like in a Word document or something. It's auto save. It's like the Google Docs, etc. If you click on the history here, it will give you a list here of all the versions that since the document is created. Actually, first created is, this is the version that's created, right? The first one, I don't know what was the date. Should be somewhere here, right? So anyway, if you see here, you could download this. This is very old version. Before I was cleaning this one, right? So this is an old version. You just copy it and bring it to your .tex. If you are happy with it, you could click here, which version. Maybe, you know, I just remove something we want here, and we want to go back to this version or something. You could actually compare. You could compare 2 versions. You click on the old one and compare to your one, right? It will say here there are 3 things. Could you see here? I removed the small d and added which time. You could see who touched one. See, I removed the citation here, which time. I deleted it by, you see the time, 7th of June, which is tonight. I changed this, I changed this. So between this version, where is the version? Between the version I clicked on and the current is those changes, right? If you want to check with the other one, you could check with other one, etc. So that's the good thing about history. Also, assume that one of the versions you are happy with it, and you could see now it's view single. View single, it's still showing you which one is changed with the other one. View single, that means show only one, right? If you are happy with one of the versions, let's say this version, and you want to keep it for, give it a label, and you want to remember it later. Maybe say, you know, version, draft before Dia join the manuscript, right? Add it. Just you want to remember it, because here if you see, I cannot remember, it's all dates, it's all blah, blah, blah. I just want to remember when we added Dia, this is the version, right? Draft before Dia, I know, right? Maybe draft when we added blah. Maybe draft before the evaluation. I know which draft it is. That's the history. It's a great feature. It's all auto systematic. Okay, let's celebrate. We are at number 10. With number 10 is, I will show you just how to manage more than one project. I will show you a real life scenario with real documents. So relax here. I will just show you some of the work we have here. You just go up, by the way, there is an option here, you go up. If you don't want this manuscript and you want to go to the main screen, you go up, right? So here I have all those manuscripts, right? We were only here on one of them, right? This is the one that we were working on. If you go up, I have all of those manuscripts. I see last modified, right? Who last modified it? Who own it? Sometimes I own it, sometimes someone else created it and shared it with me. So this is someone else created it. This is someone else created it, etc., right? Here there are a few options I will show you. You could copy this and make a copy here, and you start. Maybe you have a version for a journal, and then you decided to go for a conference. Just make a copy. Just 1, 2, 3. It gives you a copy. Just click on it and change its name. Just say here, it changes its name, say journal version. Something like this, right? If you go up, journal version, right? And this is the original conference version, and so on. If you want to remove it, I don't want this, I just click on this and I remove it. Trash it. I want to download it outside of Overleaf. I want to keep it with me if I'm worried or something. Again, whatever you downloaded from here, you could work on your computer as well with Latex. The only issue there is you don't have it a live document, but for some reason you could keep copy of it. I'm just deleting it now. Someone will say, you know what, you have so many things here, why you don't have categories? I would say, yes, you have categories. You could create folders. I will show you this folder for accepted papers. I have a folder here because here it's everything, right? Sometimes I love to see what is going on, but here you just create a folder, right? Say whatever the folder is, session, drafts, not done, something like that, right? Create. So I created a folder here, right? So you come here and let's move our one now into that folder. You see here, I clicked on it. I just go here and add to folder. Which folder? All my folders here will show up here. So you could pick draft. You see, now it become within a draft. If you go to draft, I have just that one. If you go to all project, they will all show up. So, yep, you have the folders here. I talked about this. You could trash, you could archive it, you could download it, you could copy it. I think that's pretty much it. Now, yep, archive it, important, labeling it, all we talked about. And congratulations, guys. It's 1:10 in the morning in Australia. So summary, and honestly, I want everyone in the session, just, of course, I will pass to Dr. Montasser for the questions, but please, everyone in the session, just write how many of those 10 you feel comfortable. We created an account, we created a new project, means a new from a template. We show how we create sections and subsections. We talked about how to reference and cite. We talked about figures and how to create a figure and bring it there. We talked about equations within a text or separate. We talked about how you share with others. We talked about review, how to review the manuscript and leave comments. Chat, we showed how to chat together outside of the .tx file. History, how to make sure that you keep track of everything. And finally, I ended up with manage projects. Thank you so much for listening. Sorry if I took more than it's given to me. I think Dr. Montasser and the guys are very generous with me. Nobody interrupted me. So thank you so much for listening and forgive me if